Hello, my friends. In this video, I will be doing a walkthrough of my Sudoku puzzle Distractions. Um, I set this puzzle just under a week ago. Designed it to be a little tougher than what you would see in the genuinely approachable Sudoku series over on the Cracking the Cryptic Discord, but still very relatively approachable, with a couple tricks to start the puzzle and to finish it. Um, so, about this puzzle. So normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means we're placing the digits 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 region without repetition. These green German whisper lines, adjacent digits along these lines must differ by at least 5. So if I put a 3 here, the only two digits that can go next to a 3 on a line would be 8 or 9. Those are the only digits that are 5 away. If I put a 6, that's only 3 away. It's only a difference of 3. It's invalid. Similarly, along an X, digits must sum to 10. So if I put a 3 here, this must be a 7, so we can sum to 10. Similarly, on a V, we have to sum to 5. So if I put a 3 on the V, it must be a 2 next to it. And it says not all X's and V's are given. That means there's no negative constraint if I have a 2 and 3 over here. Just because there's no V next to it is perfectly fine, is perfectly legal, at least in this puzzle. Alright, so with that out of the way, let us do the puzzle. So we're going to start in box 5, and in fact, when we resolve box 5, we get to go over all 3 of the axioms of German whispers. So the first axiom of German whisper is that you can never put a 5 on it. Because if I did put a 5, well, what's 5 away from 5? Either 0 or lower, which you can't do, or it could be 10 or higher, which you also cannot do. So 5 is off limits on this line. Alright, can I put 5 along a V? No, because then it would be 5 plus 0. You can't have 0. Can I put a 5 along an X? No, because it would be 5 plus 5, and then you would be duplicating the 5 both in the box and in the row. So you don't want to do that. So the only valid place for 5 is here. Alright, cool. Now, when we have two digits that sum to 5, we know that they must be below 5. So I'm going to use the standard Cracking the Cryptic notation of that blue represents digits below 5 or low digits, and orange represents high digits. To sum to 10, you're always going to have a low digit and a high digit. And this sort of leads us into our second axiom of German whispers, is that we're always going to be alternating polarities. We're always going to be alternating whether we're above 5 or we're below 5. Say I took the minimum 1 down here. Well, at minimum, then, this would have to be 6. And that's already above 5. And vice versa, if I put like the highest thing 9, 5 away from that would be a maximum of 4. And it's already below 5. So we're going to be alternating. And now we need to figure out, is green the high digits or the low digits? Well, if it was the low digits, we would have a problem. If these were the low digits, that's 5 unique digits below 5. You can't do that. You can't do that, Sudoku. So these are going to be our high digits. These are going to be our low digits. So now along this V, that tells us that this is either going to be 1, 4 or 2, 3. Now, if this was 2, 3 and this was 1, 4, this is going to lead us to another problem. In fact, this is the third axiom of German whispers, the axiom of, as Simon likes to refer to, of monogamous digits, which are 4 and 6. If I put a 4 here, the only valid digit that is 5 away from 4 is 9, which means I would have to put 2 9s in here. You can't do it. And if I had this was a 1-4 pair, 4 would either be here, which we just said we can't do, or 4 would go there. Those are both 9. We can't do that. So knowing that, this is going to be our 1-4 pair. 2 sum to 10 is either going to be 6 or 9. These are our 2 3s here. And something to note, again, with 6 being the other monogamous digit, it can only go next to 1. There's 1. Definitely not on the line. So this is going to be 7, 8, or 9. This must be 6. And we can just sort of finish that out. And something else we can sort of realize here is that since this is a 2-3 pair, that guarantees that this will be next to a 3. It's either going to be next to a 3 here or next to a 3 here. 3 and 7 are not 5 apart, so that's not 7. And I'm going to get rid of the coloring because it's really only useful for this part here. All right. Um, Now we can sort of continue with the central stack. Um, and let's look at what's down here. So the fact that both a 1 and a 4 are looking at this digit, we can't have a 1, 4. This must be a 2, 3. Now, similarly to the monogamous digits axiom, if I had a 3 here, the only digits that can go next to 3 are 8 and 9. We have 3 spaces, so we can't do that. This is 2, this is 3. We have 7, 8, 9 in some order that I don't really care about. 3 and 2 go here. This 3 says this is not 7, so we can place a 7 down there. The 1, 4 looks down here, so this is going to be 1, 4, leaving 5, 6 to finish this guy out. All right, with that, let us move into box 2 so we can finish out this stack, and specifically along this X sum, because, well, what can we do? Can we do 1 plus 9? No, because that 1 is looking at it. Can we do 3 plus 7? No, that 3 is looking at it. Can we do 4 plus 6? No, because there's a 4 right there. So this must be 2 and 8. So the fact that there is a 2 here and an 8 here says that this cannot be 8. That is 9. And that 8 is going to look down there. That is 9 as well. And now that we have, these are all pairs, we can sort of create triples to finish out the column. This must be a 7. The other 3 digits we need here are 1, 6, and 9. The other 3 digits we need here are 3, 4. Oh, not 1, 6, and 9. Sorry. 1, 4, and 9. And then this is going to be 3, 5, and 6 over here. And since these two have to sum to 10, the only valid option here is 4 and 6. Nothing else will work. All right, cool. Continuing our work on this. And now we're going to take a look at row 1, because we have these two V's here, one of which is going to be 1, 4, the other is going to be 2, 3. So that accounts for all of our low digits. Therefore, none of these are going to be the low digits. So this must be 8, this must be 9, and this must be 5. Very, very nice. All right, and we can also do a little bit down here because of this 4. This can't be a 1, 4 now. This must be 2 and 3. This is either 7, 8, or 9, and then this is going to be some low digit. It's either going to be 1 or 4, because you can't use 2 or 3 anymore. And this could be 4, because there's only one thing next to it. We're not really concerned about any more than that. We can also resolve this X similarly to how we resolved this. It can't be 1, 9, it can't be 2, 8, it can't be 3, 7. So it must be 4, 6. The monogamous digit axiom says if this is a 4, this must be a 9, and that 9 says no. So this must be 6 and 4. The only digit next to 6 is 1. And then we can finish this out. We have 5, 7, and 8. We can't put a 5 on the German whisper. This is 7 and 8. Therefore, since these two are high, we have 2 low digits here. This is going to be a high digit. And it can't be 6, because then those would both be 1. So this must be 9. And then down here we have some low 1, 2, or 3. It can't be 4 for the monogamous digits reasoning that we've had before. Now this 9 is going to look back up. It says that I can't put a 9 here, which means I can no longer put a 4 there. So we're going to place a 1 there, and we're going to place a 1 down there because we can. All right. Continuing along with box 6 now, and we're going to take a look at, well, 6. Obviously, by Sudoku, I can't put it in these 3 cells. And because this 1 is here, I can't put it anywhere on the Sherman Whisper because 6 must go next to 1, and that 1 says no. And this 1, for the same reason, says I can't put a 6 anywhere there. So, therefore, the 6 must go here. And that will resolve this because I can't, because of this 2, 3 pair, it can't be 2, 8, it can't be 3, 7. This says it can't be 1, 9, so it must be 4, 6, and we know the order of that. We have 3 cells here, 2, 5, and 7. 5 can't go on the German Whisper. This must be 2 and 7. Oh, hey, that's 5 apart. It works. And down here we have 7, 8, and 9. So the fact that we have 3 high digits here, I can't have 2 more high digits here. This must be the other high digit. This must be 7, 8, or 9. This is 3 or 4. Oh, hey, we have a 4. So that's 9. Look at that. And 1, 5, and 8 to finish out box 6. We are making good, decent progress. I would say decent. Alright, we can do some Sudoku stuff, placing 6s, kind of, not really. yeah, 6, kind of. You know, you can't really do much with that just yet. Yeah, we have 2 options for this x now, because it can't be 4, 6, and it can't be 3, 7. So it's either going to be 1, 9 or 2, 8, and you can only really go like in one direction. But oh hey, what is that 7, 8 pair saying? It can't have an 8. So that is indeed a 1, 9. And now this 1 says that this must be a 2, 3. 2 sum to 10, you either need 7 or 8. Oh hey, look at that, we have another 7, 8 pair. That must be a 9. Also, that pair was there. Since this is the 2, 3, this must be the 1, 4, and that tells us how to fix it. And we have 6 and 7, and again, the 7, 8 pair says that this is going to be the 6, this is going to be the 7, places 6 down there. And we can do a little bit more Sudoku. We can place a 1, this is this one. Right. We also know that this is a high digit. This is 7, 8, or 9 as well. It's not 7. It is 8 or 9. And it's not 9, so it's 8. 8. We have 5 and 8 to go down here. This 8 will resolve the 7, 8. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Oh yeah, there is a 1 down here, so that's 4. Yeah. Where can 6 go? Not here, so the only place in a row would be there. So this is going to be 2, 3, or 5. That's not 3. Finishing up here, this is 3 or 9. We don't know exactly what it is. There is a 7, which has to go here. So this is basically 2, 3, 5, or 9. It's not 5, so it's not 5 or 9, so it's specifically 2 or 3. Okay. We can finish off 5s for most of the puzzle. We have a triple here. We have was it 2, 4, and 8? So 4 can't go on there because it just wouldn't work with anything. 2 and 8. Oh hey, that does work. It's 2 works down. That's a 5. 2, 3 pair. Says that's a 9. That's a 3. The 5 is now here, and 9. And finally, we have another 7, 8 pair here. We have this 7, 8. We have this 2, 3. So we have this 6. This 1 gets caught up there. Down here, we are missing a 4. And we are missing another 2, 3. So from here, it might look like a deadly pattern. But it's not. And we're going to use a proof by contradiction to fix it. I wouldn't necessarily call this bifurcating. I mean, you probably can. Like, it depends how many, like, steps you want to, like, look ahead before you consider its bifurcation. But in here, we can actually disprove pretty quickly. So, if we just assume a forcing scenario here. If this is a 7, this must be a 2. Or if this is a 3, this must be an 8. So that can sort of allow us to sort of take a look and sort of see what's happening. So if this is a 3, that forces this to be an 8. All right, what does that do? That's going to place a 7 up here, which is going to make this an 8. To sum to 10, we need 2. To sum to 5, we now need a 3, and uh-oh. We can't put a 2 in column 2. So that's wrong. The forcing here of that this being a 3 doesn't work, so we're going to place a 2 in here instead. So we can resolve all the 2 3s. Use this. 2 plus 8 will give us 10. And that will resolve the rest of the puzzle. Just like that. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and I hope it helped you sort of figure it out. For more puzzles like this, check out the Genuinely Approachable Sudoku series on the Cracking the Cryptic Discord, or on, why am I forgetting the other website it's on now? Or you can check them out on YouTube as well. Of course, Cracking the Cryptic, and everything else. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.